ghost in the parking lot. This photo, submitted by Vikri Balderson, is just a cute dog acting silly in the front seat of a car, right? That's what the dog's owner thought when he decided to capture the moment on camera. Little did he know that these scary pictures would show up on his camera. In the background of the photo behind the car, taken in Hemel Hempstead, we see what appears to be a blurry figure walking through the parking lot. At first glance, you would probably assume that it was just a person walking by when the photo was taken. However, the person who captured the photo insists that they and the dog were alone in the parking lot when the shot was taken. Believing that a ghost might have photobombed them, they took to the internet to do research and hopefully shed light on the mysterious picture. Much to their surprise, they discovered that a man named Adam Watt had been stabbed in the area in 2017. Watt, unfortunately, died as a result of his wounds. Could he have been the mysterious figure that appeared in the background of this photo? Ghostly outline of Lady on Rocks at Scott's Lock freaks out social media users. A spooky picture is freaking out Scots, after it appeared to show a lady on the rocks at a Highland lock. Sally Price was taking pictures of seals at Applecross when she accidentally snapped the ghostly figure. After enjoying a walk and taking in the views, Sally headed home, completely oblivious to the fact she had just pictured the haunting sight. Sally said, "I took this photo of a seal at the far end of Applecross Lock. You can just see its head popping up in the water in the picture. Then when we got home, I was looking at this photo and something caught my eye on the coastline. Can you see the outline of a lady on the rocks?" Sally, who lives in Surrey, took the picture while holidaying in the Highlands back in September 2015. Freaked out couple capture demonic face of monk in spot where he was burned alive 500 years ago. Tanya and Jared Copeman were stunned to find an evil-looking, pale face, with glowing eyes, peering out of the gloom despite no one having been there. A couple claim they caught what could be the ghostly, demonic face of a monk, staring at them in the cellar of a former slaughterhouse, in the same spot he was burned alive 500 years ago. Tanya Copeman, 41, was exploring the village in Mansfield, Notts, with Ghost Hunts UK, when she felt compelled to take 2 pictures before she left. Tanya and her husband Jared, 47, were shocked when one photo showed an evil-looking, pale face peering at them out of the gloom, with glowing white eyes, despite no one having been there. Ghost hunter Lee Roberts, who had taken them on the tour that evening, reckons the creepy face could be one of the 7 monks who burned to death there in the 1500s. Tanya, who traveled a 5-hour round trip from her home in Watton, Norfolk, to visit the reportedly haunted location, said, "I didn't really expect to capture anything really. But I'd always wanted to go to the village. I'd heard about that place for a long time and always wanted to go." Jared and I had gone into that section, which we later found out is exactly where they think the priests were burned alive. After we'd done some investigating in that room, but hadn't found anything, I just had the inkling to take 2 more pictures. I even said to Jared when we left, "Let me take 2 more, and that's when that appeared." But I didn't notice the figure until later when I was looking through my photographs. I saw the 2 eyes, but at the time I didn't realize they were eyes. I thought they were just 2 white dots. But then I zoomed in on the picture and I saw this face and I was like, oh my god. Ghost child appears on camera. Justine Berman Boone submitted these weird photos that an acquaintance of hers took with her son, near a local pond in Ridgewood, New Jersey. When the mother first looked at the photos, nothing seemed amiss. However, the background of the photos later revealed something truly disturbing. In the dirt near the parking lot, a small girl is playing and seems to watch the mother and child as they snap their selfie. She is wearing a brown dress and appears to be covered in dirt, making her almost blend into the earth. She is holding something in one hand, and the other arm seems to be missing. Her appearance is both innocent and terrifying. Clearly, this was not a normal child spending a day at the park. The mother attempted to research the area for evidence of some tragedy that could explain the spirit's appearance, but her search was not successful. For now, this young spirit's story remains a mystery. eerie figure exits the stage. Theaters are believed by many to be common haunting grounds for ghosts. There is something about their unique atmosphere that seems to attract the supernatural. According to Mary Destiny Martin, security guards at the theater at her local high school captured some weird photos of the school's own resident ghost. The security guards visited the theater after a motion alarm went off at around 1 o'clock early one morning. They didn't see anything, but took a photo on their way out, just in case. When reviewing the photo, a guard was shocked to notice the figure of a woman walking down the stairs of what he was certain was an empty theater. The figure appears to be entirely black and white, in stark contrast to the rest of the theater, giving her a strange, otherworldly appearance. Many locals know of the school's spirit, but no one knows her story. However, this photo marks the first time that the mysterious ghost has appeared on camera. The hidden man. We all take photos of ourselves. Usually, the worst thing to happen is that we'll hate the way we look in them and instantly delete them. This woman, however, was probably terrified when she looked at this particular shot. The photo doesn't look particularly frightening at first. The scary part is in the shadows behind the woman's face, where there appears to be another face staring out into the camera. What makes this photo particularly terrifying is how the photographer spotted the mysterious man. According to him, the photo editing software that he was using has facial recognition capabilities to help the user focus on the faces in the pictures. When he was editing this photo, the software kept focusing on the face in the shadows instead of the woman's face. What could explain this demon-like photobomber? Crying ghost girl. A lot of people wonder, what goes on when a large group of girls heads to a public restroom together? If this photo is any indication, they could be heading there to spend time with ghosts. In this photo, a group of girls stands in front of a large bathroom mirror, while someone takes a photo from behind them. You can see the girls' backs, and reflections of some of them in the mirror, but the most terrifying part of this photo is reflected in the bottom corner of the mirror. Here, there appears a ghostly pale little girl, who appears to be sobbing in pain or terror. Her hands are clenched close to her face, and her hair seems to be stringy and wet. However, it is her face that is truly chilling. Her features are twisted into a heartbreaking expression. Clearly, the girl whose reflection appears in the mirror experienced some sort of trauma before her death. Could this public restroom have been the location for her untimely demise? Boy in the grass. When Ryan Murphy took a trip with a group of friends to Roxborough State Park in Colorado, United States, he never expected to come home with 2 chilling ghost photos. One member of the group spotted a perfect place for a photo op atop a large boulder, with the scenic mountains in the background. Ryan snapped 2 photos. One as his friend was climbing onto the rock, and another with him triumphantly perched at the top. However, he isn't alone in either of the photos. Both snapshots show a small boy, standing in the tall grass, around the base of the rock. The child's face is blurry, so his features are difficult to make out. He's either obscured by grass, or he's actually transparent, and we can see the grass behind him. Either way, the group of friends is certain that they would have remembered a small child wandering around alone, while they attempted to get the shot. Yet, no one remembers seeing a child nearby. U.S. state parks are common places for strange happenings. According to some statistics, over 1,600 people have gone missing in state parks over the years, few of which have ever been located. Many of the stories of disappearances are bizarre and mysterious, with few clues or confusing details. One possible explanation for the appearance of a ghostly child in the photos from Roxborough State Park is that this boy is one of the thousands of people who met their ends within the park system, leaving his lonely spirit behind, still searching for help from strangers. However, without being able to identify the child, his appearance remains a mystery. This eerie photo does leave you with the question, is something sinister happening in America's national parks? Ghost appears in museum. This photo was captured by Jonathan Hanna on one of the scariest days of the year, Halloween night, at Belfast's Ulster Folk and Transport Museum. Captured in an old-fashioned train carriage, you can see a ghostly figure, standing in the doorway at the opposite end of the carriage to the photographer. Creepily, it almost seems as though the figure has appeared in that very moment, just to stare back at the train carriage's inhabitants, marking its territory. If you zoom in, the figure looks skeletal. It has sunken, black eyes and the nose area is indented, much the way a human skull looks. It's also transparent with a strange glowing quality. Weirder still, we can see what appears to be the legs of another figure seated just opposite. It appears as though the photographer has been transported back to a moment lost to time, just long enough to capture this photograph. Hannah said he got the shock of his life when he reviewed the photo. He was sure there was no one else around when the photo was taken. He's also stated that he'd have no idea how to Photoshop an image, claiming it's 100% genuine. Some skeptics claim it's a bit fishy that the photo was taken on Halloween night. However, historically Halloween, or more accurately Samhain, is a time when people believe a connection to the spirit realm is active. According to Irish mythology, it's a period where the dead can contact the living world. Could this be a spirit peering through some kind of otherworldly doorway? One that's only open on Halloween night? While it is certain these historical train carriages contain a lot of history, it is not certain that its ghostly riders want anyone, this photographer included, barging in on their spooky train ride. Entity in the water. When this family took a trip to a scenic waterfall in Malaysia, unsettling photos were the last things on their mind. However, the group selfie that they took near the water revealed that they may have had an extra guest during their carefree day of fun. When the family looked at their photo after returning home, they noticed a creepy, white figure standing in the water behind them. They believed that no one else was there when the photo was taken, and the ghostly white nature of the figure was enough to convince them that they had been visited by a spirit. According to internet users who know the area, this waterfall is definitely haunted. Evidently, the highway near the waterfall has been the site of numerous unfortunate deaths, and many believe that the spirits of the victims have made the waterfall and river their eternal haunting grounds. Photo reveals something chilling. Captured by Katrina Pareso, and featured on the website, Daily Feed, this picture is potentially one of the creepiest ones we've ever seen. It's unimaginable to think what emotions Pareso must have experienced when she first saw the photo. Pareso, a young Filipino woman on vacation in Japan, simply did something many do while on holidays. She took a selfie inside the house in which she was staying. However, that simple act would go on to yield one of the most scary photos ever captured. Although the original image is quite dark, you can vaguely make out a roundish, black shape on the floor behind the photographer. When the image is lightened, however, the chilling truth becomes apparent. Pareso appears to have captured a disembodied head, lying on the floor. It looks to have raggedy, unkempt hair and a menacing expression on its face. However, this cannot be possible, as the website claims that there was no one else in the house that the head could have belonged to. While there is no denying that this is a very creepy photo, just what it actually shows remains a mystery. As it's obvious that there was not an actual disembodied head in the room when the picture was taken, it becomes easy to turn to the supernatural for answers. Could this photo perhaps show the ghost of someone who tragically died in this very room? Or is it more likely that the image is just a very creepy case of pareidolia? Whatever the outcome, one can only hope that Pareso immediately changed locations after this chilling encounter. Scary birthday party. The Watts family always believed that their house was haunted. Mrs. Watts would sometimes hear a child calling for "Mom," and her children insisted that it wasn't them calling for her. The family would also find objects moved without explanation. They asked a medium to visit the house. The medium believes that the home is haunted by the spirit of a young boy looking for attention, so the family has tried to coexist with the ghost. During a birthday party for one of the children, the family's fears about a haunting were confirmed. In a photo that shows Mrs. Watts in a mirror carrying the birthday cake into the room, she isn't alone in the reflection. Near the bottom of the mirror appears the gray face of a young boy. The family tried to explain the photo, but all of the children that were in the house at the time are clearly visible in the photo. With no earthly explanation for the eerie face in the mirror, the Watts family could only assume that their ghostly boarder used the birthday photos as another opportunity to make his presence felt. An entity in the ocean. In the foreground of the photo, you can see two young girls standing in the ocean under a dark night sky. In the background of the photo, you can see that the girls are not alone. On either side of the girls, the camera caught pairs of glowing eyes, staring out from above the water. On the right-hand side of the photo, you can see an entire entity standing in the water watching the carefree girls. The girls seemed blissfully unaware of the watching figures, suggesting that they were not visible to the naked eye. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. See you soon.